Welcome to this lecture on the poem, To His Coy Mistress, one of the most famous metaphysical poems written by Andrew Marvell. This poem, first published posthumously in 1681, is a brilliant example of Carpe Diem poetry, meaning, seize the day. In it, Marvell presents a persuasive argument, in which the speaker urges his lover, to embrace love and physical intimacy before time runs out. Andrew Marvell was a 17th-century English poet and politician. His poetry blends wit, intellect, and elaborate conceits, a hallmark of metaphysical poetry, a movement associated with poets like John Donne and George Herbert. To His Coy Mistress was written during the period of the English Civil War, and the Restoration, a time of political instability, which may have influenced its themes of urgency and fleeting time. Let's start the line-by-line explanation. Had we but world enough and time, this coyness, lady, were no crime. The speaker begins by saying that, if they had unlimited time and enough space, his beloved's hesitation wouldn't be a problem. The speaker is comparing the coyness of his beloved with a crime, emphasizing his tensed state of mind. We would sit down, and think which way to walk, and pass our long love's day. If time were endless, they could leisurely sit down and decide how to spend their love without urgency. Thou by the Indian Ganges side, shouldst rubies find, I by the tide of Humber would complain. The speaker imagines his beloved in an exotic, distant place, searching for rubies, while he, more modestly, remains by the Humber River in England, longing for her. I would love you 10 years before the flood, and you should, if you please, refuse, till the conversion of the Jews. He exaggerates here, saying that, he would love her before Noah's biblical flood and wait until the conversion of the Jews, which was believed to happen at the end of time, emphasizing infinite patience. And, if this was the case, she could pretend to refuse the lover for a long time. My vegetable love should grow vaster than empires and more slow. Now, here is a metaphorical comparison. The speaker compares his love to a vegetable plant that grows steadily and continuously, as vast as empires, symbolizing the lover's slow but deep affectionate love. 100 years should go to praise thine eyes, and on thy forehead gaze. 200 to adore each breast, but 30,000 to the rest. An age at least to every part, and the last age should show your heart. Here are some hyperbolic expressions. He says, he would spend 100 years admiring just her eyes and forehead, 200 years to admire each of her breasts and 30,000 for the rest of her body. He would devote an entire age to each part of her, and finally, after an eternity, he would admire her heart or inner beauty. All these could happen if they had that eternal time. For, lady, you deserve this state. Nor would I love at lower rate. She deserves such long admiration, and he would not love her any less, even if time allowed. The speaker does not want a love lesser than this. But at my back I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near. The mood of the poem shifts here. It changes from dreamy admiration to urgency. The speaker hears time's winged chariot, symbolizing that death is approaching them. The first part deals with the poet's dream of having eternal time for their love. And now, from the second part onwards, he shifts the mood towards reality. And yonder all before us lie, deserts of vast eternity. Instead of infinite time for love, what lies ahead of us, is a desert of eternity, a lifeless void after the death. Thy beauty shall no more be found, nor in thy marble vault, shall sound my echoing song. The speaker says, when she dies, her beauty will disappear, and his words of love will be useless in her marble vault, so, there is no way she should hesitate to accept the love proposal. Here the marble vault symbolizes grave. Then worms shall try that long-preserved virginity, and your quaint honor turn to dust, and into ashes all my lust. Here is a shocking image used by the speaker. He says, if she keeps hesitating for a long time, she will end up being dead with the waves of time. Then perhaps, the worms in her grave shall take her virginity, which means, the worms shall eat her up. So, the lover urges that, instead of being loved by the worms, she should make love with the lover before the lover's love interest gets cooled down. By the term quint honor the speaker indicates at her virginity. And the word, lust, signifies the speaker's passion. The grave's a fine and private place. But none, I think, do there embrace. These are so dark and humorous lines. He says the grave is of course a private place, but no one can love or embrace there. He basically means that she should make love when there is still time. Because if they die, it will be no use of them. Hear the second part of the poem which deals with the reality of time ends. Now therefore, while the youthful hue sits on thy skin like morning dew, he says, now is the perfect time they should make love since they are still young and beautiful. They should seize the moment while her youthful hue or fresh beauty is like morning dew. And while thy willing soul transpires at every pore with instant fires, now let us sport us while we may. And now, like amorous birds of prey, rather at once our time devour, than languish in his slow chapped power. Her soul and passion shine through her body, showing her instant desire and energy. Again he says they should enjoy the moment while they can. Here sport means making love. Let us roll all our strength and all our sweetness up into one ball. The speaker urges to his beloved that their love and energy should be combined, rolled into one ball, symbolizing urgency and unity. It signifies the need of both the sexes to make love and tear our pleasures with rough strife through the iron gates of life. They should seize the pleasure forcefully from time, pushing past the barriers. Here the phrase iron gates of life means the obstacles in their relationship. Thus though we cannot make our son stand still, yet we will make him run. These two lines are very important as they are contradictory to the traditional rules of time. The speaker says, if they can't stop time, they can at least live so passionately that they outrun time and make it jealous. Now, if we talk about the themes of the poem, one of the prominent themes in Marvell's poem to his coy mistress would be the theme of Carpe Diem. The Latin expression Carpe Diem basically means, seize the day, or, enjoy the present. In this particular poem, the expression figuratively explores that things like youth, beauty and love should be enjoyed at once. The moment the speaker of the poem says, time's winged chariot hurrying near, it adds to the Carpe Diem theme. The lover, being conscious about the reality of time, again and again pleads to his beloved that now is the time they should enjoy love.